How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSi's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Rule 31. Mega, good evening and welcome to Kansas Week. We have the Xfinity qualifying done early, so that gives us the opportunity to do an Xfinity video for everyone. If you did not have a chance to watch Mega's short truck video this evening before the race, we did try to do our best to give you something. But there was just, little time with the work schedules and, the qualifying being same day. We're trying our hardest to get some content to you. So always keep an eye out on the channel, Fantasy Sports Insight for YouTube. If you can see any kind of silent postings or short videos, any kind of way we can get you guys some content, better than no content, right? Mega, how's your evening? And what do we learn from the truck race today?
We know it's a tire wear track, so that's pretty important here. Looks like it's pretty easy to pass if you have, fresh tires.
Yeah.
It was a decent race, not too many
Yeah.
cautions. It's a pretty wide track, so it's not like it's a super speedway where there's going to be a huge wreck or things like that. So again, with Xfinity, it was a short turnaround tonight. I had high school football, we had the truck race, I had baseball to figure out. So didn't rank the plays, so we'll do that during the video here. But
Yeah.
if you look at the ugly color scheme on the left side, let me explain it to you. You still have two more races before the playoffs here. So there's here in Richmond, I believe. So the guys in teal are locked in. They already have a win. They're good to go. The guys in green are hundreds of points ahead of the cutoff line. And I don't believe that mathematically, even if they finish last both races, that they would be able to be eliminated, because you're only going to have potentially two more winners. And they're right now in the 9th and 10th spot, and 12 get in. So I think they're relatively safe. The ones we need to worry about are Hemrick, Sieg, and Castle. They have no wins, and they're on the cut line within about 100 of the cutoff point. You have Brandon Brown. Actually, you have Sheldon Creed sitting right below it, so he's really close. So he's going to be the biggest factor. You have Brandon Brown and Anthony Ofredio a little bit further on down, but then Jeremy Clements, his win was counted but disallowed towards the playoffs, or something like a sealed engine, not sealed engine. It was like a whole.
Sad.
It was too much. It was too much reading to dig into that. But anyways, but potentially if he wins one of these two races, he can make the playoffs. Jeb Burton, same thing. Mike Snyder, same thing. And Bailey Curry has actually raced 24 races. So I believe he should qualify for the playoffs should he miraculously win a race.
I mean, he's had a decent year, so
Yeah. No,
alive.
decent year meaning that he's exceeded expectations, but decent year not meaning that he's ever contended for any of these races.
Right.
And one that Daytona would be the one that anybody would be able to steal. But
Sure.
who knows?
Right. And Talladega coming up. So but yeah, I think what I learned most of all was if we get a caution at a certain point in the race and you have a crew chief willing to gamble to pit, try to make it on one stop, try to save fuel like we saw hosts of our try to do today. Then drivers that need wins to get in are going to try to take those risks. And I think they saw how Carson managed to do it tonight. Finished second, just missed the playoffs. Pretty heartfelt sorrow for our boy Carson Hocevar, but hey, he gave it his best shot, got passed on the last lap. I mean, it worked. It just fell short. So I think there's going to be that kind of strategy getting in play here late in the race. So guys that are outside the cut line here are going to have to be worth mentioning for something like that to play out. And, we have to factor that into our decision making. Especially, I will say this. I don't have a good lean on Dominator right now. I don't know what I learned at practice other than a few things, but most of all, I'm just going to be looking at comparative tracks. Wouldn't you say you agree?
Yeah, I mean, there was only like what about like pretty much Nemechek dominated the whole race there, besides Hocevar and
I would say,
Ankrum.
yeah,
Ankrum and him
mhm,
switched on and off, but it wasn't like there was a ton of different dominators here. So
right. Maybe we can look to something like Charlotte
yeah,
or
it's a longer
Texas.
track. It's got to be a tire wear track though. So uh, and it's just maybe all the way back to like Auto Club.
Hmm.
It's
Vegas. Um, that Gibbs one. I don't know, maybe Darlington, but that's an older track type. That's a concrete surface.
so much has changed since
Yeah, but we'll just
and
jump
this
in.
race was in October last year, so that's the
Yeah,
last one to Gibbs won that one. So
yeah, we'll just jump in and give it our best feel, and we'll go from there. I mean, that's how we usually that's how we usually pre-show it. So we're just gonna do that live for you guys. So let's go with we'll kick it off with Brandon Jones. Tire wear, Brandon Jones. Do you feel like this is a good mix?
he's always a GPP for me. I know he qualified well, but if you look at the differential, I sometimes like in tracks like this, I want to look at the differential between where they qualified in practice because they qualified with one lap. I didn't hear if they did it with Xfinity, but they gave the people like one more set of tires, so they had five. So I'm not sure if they did it for Xfinity, but that's definitely going to help so they don't have to use their qualifying or their practice tires because
Mm-hmm.
they they the fall off is huge. So if I see somebody that's really slow in practice and really fast in qualifying, I'm thinking, okay, great, they're great, like when they have fresh tires, but the fall
Yeah.
off is immense, and that's kind of scary. So Brandon Jones, I don't know. He's got Ty Gibbs right there. I don't know if he's one that can get out and like completely dominate this race. I see his Gibbs being more aggressive, and Brandon Jones. I said the same thing about Chandler Smith. He just seems to find issues. It's like
Yeah.
Kyle Busch, Chandler Smith, and Brandon Jones in all three series are the same play. Every week they could win the race. Every week they could dominate the race, but every week they could make a mistake or have bad luck and end up last.
Yeah, that's pretty much the case with Brandon Jones. I will say, if we want to look at Phoenix, Brandon Jones did perform pretty well at Phoenix. Um, Kansas, I guess, had some similar feel to it with, the front stretch and everything.
He started ninth. He finished 11th last year here.
Yeah. Uh, I don't feel confident he dominates the race. Sure, he may lead some laps. Go GPP. All right, Ty Gibbs. I do think this is a cash play. He does have some wins here at mile and a half over the course of the year. He looks like first in practice. We're getting closer to playoff time. I know Ty Gibbs is running in the Cup Series right now, so maybe there's some really, really strong confidence that he's kind of a man amongst, well, a boy amongst men, but man amongst boys down here in the
He's
Xfinity
8 years
Series.
old. Have you ever seen the press conferences
Oh, I
after?
have, I know, but he's driving like he's a man amongst boys. I will. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like he's not a good fit at super speedways, and now we put him in a mile and a half. I think the car itself, and I think a clean drive. I mean, if as long as he keeps himself in clean air, Ty Gibbs should have no problem dominating the race.
Correct. I believe that.
Yeah. So I mean, starting on the front row is only going to benefit. Now I do think I like one other guy to be a close dominator, but I think here in cash it's a block to play Ty Gibbs. Price tag too, 10-6, not that expensive. And we've paid much higher for Ty Gibbs on the year. Um, Anything else to add on that, or did you want to go to Sheldon Creed?
We can go to Sheldon Creed. Guy that
8,600
needs a win, but
needs a
it's
win.
he almost reminds me of Hocevar in the truck, where it seems like he's just been pushing and pressing too much for that win,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really and let it, in more like basketball, they say like let the game come to you because like in football, baseball, you really can't use that analogy because, um, but I think he's just not letting the game or the race like come to him. I think he's trying to do too much, and it's
Impressive.
it's giving him success initially, but then it just is ending up like not
He
working out.
should have won the race last week, I felt.
Right.
I think he had the car to beat, and then he beat himself,
Yes.
and it was real easy for shoot, who was it that overtook him late in the race last week? Drawing a brain fart. Oh, Gregson, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's put himself in some really good positions to win in the last couple of weeks. I do think he's a GPP play, especially because he needs a win.
Yeah. It was an amazing finish though, up against that wall. That was crazy.
Not much different coming here to Kansas. So I think he's a GPP play. He might be in an optimal build if it all breaks right for him. AJ Allmendinger 10-3. Guy's a top 10 machine. I think I've been ignoring Allmendinger's practice speeds, and I've been getting really a lot of success with him starting in the back half of the top 10 and then just still playing him anyway. But now that he's starting fourth, I don't feel too confident, but I still feel confident enough to play him.
I think he's a GPP. I don't think he's a cash play.
No, I agree.
I
This
think
this is the
he can top five it, but it's a lot to pay off 10-3 without getting out there and leading laps.
right. Multiple wins on 1.5 tracks. Noah Gregson this year. I think he is one of the cars to beat tomorrow.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I would consider Prime, but I think people can draw the conclusion here with our top 5. Who are the 2 cars we feel the strongest about?
No, he
And
got
I
in an
think,
accident for the last one.
well, he won at Darlington.
Yeah.
I think he won.
He's in great form here.
Yeah,
So,
he won at Pocono.
and at least he throws up after the race, not during the race, Mr.
Sure,
Alfredo.
sure. He did win at Phoenix earlier this year. So that's 3 wins.
Here's the only thing. I'm looking at his last 4 races. 13th finish, 15th finish, 36th finish, 35th finish.
Oh, he's due. Due for a win.
Okay.
I'm going cash here. I think he's a strong play. I think he might have a car to beat too. And in the 1.5 program for Junior Motorsports, pretty excellent. With the way that Allmendinger races, or Allgaier and Gregson race on 1.5. So I think he's a cash play. Austin Hill, surprisingly good. I hate the price tag. Man, I wish this was an 8K play. I'd be hammering it, but
Yeah.
9.7.
Yeah. Practice wasn't that great. So I think the fall off's going to be.
Yeah, GPP at least. Daniel Hemrick is an interesting play. I don't know whether to trust the practice speed or not. I do know he's going to be racing hard.
4 races, 2nd, 7th, 2nd, and 15th.
He finished 3rd at Las Vegas. I think he's possible. 9-1, not bad. I mean, we're getting a little bit of a discount for a guy that needs a win.
He's got to make up some ground. So
sure. Sam Mayer, 9,300.
8th last year. He's in decent form.
He's in good form. I think it's a form.
It all adds up. Like he was 8th last year. He starts 8th this year. He's 8th in practice. Where's he going to
finishing
finish?
8th? All right. So here's your 8th place car. If you want to bet it, go right ahead.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
It'd have to be top 10, but
yeah. Justin Allgaier. Do you know what happened in practice?
I don't know. He looked something.
I'm just curious if anything broke or what.
He obviously was allowed to qualify, so
yeah.
We can throw in the notes if we can't find anything right away.
I'm looking well. I mean, give us a rundown though of Allgaier. He does have some success on 1.5s. Really good on concrete tracks. The old stool. He's an old classic style driver.
Yeah, he's raced here 5 times. His first one was 38th. He finished dead last, got in an accident. But since then, 5th, 10th, 10th, and 9th. So he should top 10 here. Again, he is locked into the playoffs, so I don't think he's going to be conservative. I think he's going to be fine to go out and try to win this race just to try to improve his playoff standings, because I don't think he has as many wins as some of the other guys in the series. Let's see if I can.
Clemence's appeal will be heard next Tuesday. Stumbled across that while looking for
Well,
anyone.
Algar is 3 wins. Like Gibbs has 5, Grayson has 4. So I mean, he's only chasing like really 2 guys here. He's tied with AJ Allmendinger.
I'm not seeing anything on Allgaier's practice, so it must not be too alarming as far as like if anything broke. I did come across something about Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick and Castle have swapped crew chiefs.
Ooh.
I think that increases the Hemrick play a little bit because Castle's crew chief has performed wonders this year. He's really performed pretty well in that 10 car.
I have the pit statistic. Let me look them up quick here.
Nothing like a little live research being done.
Yep. Okay. So actually Daniel Hemrick is number 2 overall, but that takes driver into consideration. For pit crews in time getting out, it goes Sieg, Grayson, Hill, Jones, Creed, Allgaier, Barry, Hemrick, Mayer, and Castle is pretty far down. So
Saying bad Hemrick.
What's that?
Is it a bad Hemrick moment?
Yeah, the crew rank is 15th for Castle. For Hemrick, it is 8th. So maybe that happens.
Really?
Well, they switched them, so like Castle's getting the better crew chief, but then again, it's not the pit crew; it's just a crew chief, so it's making the calls. Are they switching the whole crew?
Just says crew chief.
Okay, well then,
I think I know where I'm going with my GBP. Hemrick. I think Hemrick's going to pull the Hocevar this tomorrow. Now you got me on this gut feeling on Daniel Hemrick. All right, Josh Berry 10-1 does perform fairly well at these 1.5-mile tracks.
Yeah.
Any interest in Berry? He's got some decent results on 1.5 miles.
Yeah,
I know that. I've been coming across some good results.
Yeah,
4th at Las Vegas.
He's been pretty strong. I mean, he's got a win this year, so
4th at Auto Club. He's got some good trends here on these 1.5 miles.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he got to race Kansas last year because that was the whole switch with he and Mayer. And I don't think he was in like the Anderson one, but yeah, I don't know, but 10-1's a little hard. There's a nice place differential here. So where are we going, cash or GPP?
GBP. I don't like 10-1. I want to keep it fairly simple for everyone here up top. It's Allgaier, Gregson, or Gibbs. I think those are your cash plays in this top 10. And then I think everybody else is going to be driver 2 GPPs. If you really had to think about, if you're not going like double stud up here and you wanted to pivot down to a 9K guy in cash, my personal choice is Hemrick. I think people will tell you Brandon Jones to get the lead laps, so I would understand both. Sammy Smith had quite the practice here. Do we trust the rookie though?
I don't know. He's been decent.
He did not do well last week, I believe. Or no, that was at Daytona. He wrecked. He was the first one out.
Okay. I'm not fading him, but I think there is potentially some upside here. So
really, you think it's just the car related? 18. Christopher Bell ran really well in that 18 car last week. Finished 7th. Started 36.
I think he's just still learning.
Yeah, And I think 89 is actually too high. I'd rather play Hemrick. I even rather play Mayer. So he's not going to get my money, I don't think. If anything, I'll put him in the 50 cent. Riley Herbst, 8,200. Driver that needs a victory.
You finished.
Well, not necessarily. He is on. He could coast here and he could be racing for stage points.
Yeah, that's the danger. But he did finish third here, but it last year in October. So
Sure. No top tens last week at Darlington. I really like this Las Vegas correlation here. I'm gonna go take a look at Las Vegas. Yeah, I'm not seeing Riley Hurst until 14th place finish. So I think 8,200 is a really good price tag. I think he's a decent GBP option, to be honest, as long
he's
as
just had
those.
bad luck. Like, look how many
Yeah,
like hard hits he's had
I
this
was
year
just
that
about to
haven't been his
say,
fault. Yeah.
keep the car clean, should be fine. The car is good. The car's a top 10 car at 8,200. Keep it clean. He should be fine. I think it makes for a really good, strong GPP option. This next play is really interesting. The form has been pretty terrible, but Ryan Sieg is Mr. Alternative Strategy on an alternative tire wear, track. I think 8K. I think he makes for an ultimate play, kind of. What are your thoughts?
I like him in cashier. He's got to make up some ground. Like the
He's
program's
been
been decent.
really bad lately.
Yeah.
That's the only issue. But they know they're up against it. They got to make a move. How did he fare last year at Kansas?
Sure, at Kansas. Fifth. Started 14th.
Yeah. Yeah. This just screams of Ryan C. Grace.
Yeah.
Different kind of strategy, tire wear, pits, fuel saving moments, long green flag runs. I could see Ryan C. Racing having a really good day tomorrow. So I'm going to have him definitely in GPPs. I wouldn't mind it in cash either. Landon Castle, 8,400. We just know that they swapped crew chiefs with Daniel Hemrick starting tomorrow. It looks like the practice speeds aren't that well. Who knows how the communication is going to go for these two teams.
He started 38th. He had an issue, ended up 19th last year. So
Yeah. 12th last week.
he just this
We'll
colleague
get-
program ever since they
Yeah.
moved up to Cup, it's just been watered down. It's just not the same as it was last year.
I will say Castle is in some decent form. He's driving fairly well. All
Put him
three of
back
these
in the four
plays.
like he was last year. I think he was had much better season.
You know what? The optimal lineup is going to be one of these three AK guys that finishes inside the top 7.
Oh
I
yeah.
guarantee it. Guarantee it. If one of these AK guys is in the optimal, it's because they finished top 5, top 7. So I think your best bets, to be honest, is Sieg, Herbst, then Castle. Ross Chastain, 48. The
Very
Jade
interesting.
Buford Memorial car.
Yeah. Poor Jay Buford. Like, what happened to him, man?
It's gone.
Uh,
Not even racing in ARCA or anything. It's just gone. I feel
He didn't
terrible.
get like a concussion or something, and just like,
He just got the boot, I think, from the 48.
but he wasn't bad.
I know. I think they thought this car should be performing a lot better. So now it's whatever Cup driver wants to come down and have a ride before he gets into the Cup car. So this week it's Ross Chastain, 9,900. Yeah. Look, Ryan Preece just finished this race fairly well tonight, finishing third in that 17 truck. I think you get much of the same with Ross Chastain. He's got nothing to lose except for,
Right,
a win.
10th,
So
10th, 5th, 12th. So decent
Yep.
numbers. Like his first race was 25th, but I'll throw that out there. So
yeah, that's a cash play in my opinion. 9,900 with the place differential points.
prime.
Ooh, we have got no primes. I think I think people should double up, get their dominator with Gibbs or Gregson, and then get Chastain with the place differential points. That top
He
6.
could lead.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, for sure. I think he's a top 6 car. That's what 8, 9 points right off the rip.
Yeah.
Plus his finishing position. So yeah, cash play for sure. We'll go prime. Brett Moffitt, 07. 7,100. Just wrecked out of the race tonight.
He didn't wreck. His car caught on fire.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I looked up and he was stopped on the track. I
Because
figured
his
he
truck
wrecked.
was a flaming
So he pulled a Harvick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was something like the engine or something blew and his truck caught on fire. So he didn't wreck.
That's not his fault. Probably being some better equipment in this 07 car anyway. I think 7,100 is a really strong price tag. Do you have any info on his previous races in the past?
Yes.
Just curious.
His first race here was 34, so cross out and up. The last two, 7th and 6th.
Bingo. That's
He
what we
was
want.
7th in practice, which shows me that he probably had good long run speed, which is what we're looking for.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep. All right, we're in on Moffitt in the 07. Yeah, cash play for sure. 7,100. That's nice. Jeremy Clement, 73. Got a feeling they're feeling a little distracted. Didn't they lose their crew chief as well as the win? Didn't he get
Again, like
suspended?
I couldn't keep track of like what had happened and what they gave back. And then they said,
Yeah.
you guys did something. And then they said, well, the engine was sealed. We couldn't have done something. And then they said, yes, but you could have done this. And they said, no, because we couldn't have done this. And it was like a ping pong match. I just like lost interest. So, but I know he looked bad in practice here.
Right.
And again, that could have been anything. Look at his. First of all, they're probably mad about this, and even without his crew chief, I think he's a good driver with a good car. He's raced 5 times here: 10th, 6th, 12th, 15th, 17th for an average of 12th.
Wow. An average of 12. I wouldn't expect that from him here.
For 7,300, if he finishes 12th, then he gets 31 points plus 5, so he'd have 36 points. I mean, that's
not
decent.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you're looking for 35 to 40 points. But 7,300 makes that a little bit more manageable. I think you're just looking to make sure he beats Brett Moffitt.
Right.
And then there's a few other guys, but I don't
Or maybe you play both. Maybe both of them work.
This is a case where you could play both. Yeah. Good call. Cal Weatherman, 34.
Here's the problem. Yeah, Inua's in the pool. Like DK, put both Weatherman and Inua in any race that Inua's in, because you don't know which one's going to be driving the car come the race. Wow. Now, would it surprise me tomorrow if Weatherman's not going to race and we get the DK alert and then Inua is in? But are you going to play Inua starting at the 34th position? Absolutely not.
Or you mean the 18th? Absolutely not. No.
Oh, sorry, that's his car number, right?
Yeah. No,
who would play him at
absolutely
34th
not.
either.
No, I'm not playing Jesse.
Going back to Clement, he's at 4.9x if he does finish 12th. And I look for 4x, and 5x is actually pretty exceptional. So
yeah, I'm not seeing anything on Jesse being the driver for tomorrow.
Well, he was the one that was registered for it, so it's a fake. He's not in the player pool. You can't play him. So,
oh, been racing pretty well in that car. All right, Jeb Burton, 7K. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like our motorsports. I think I'd rather play Moffitt and Clements.
Yeah.
I think Jeb is just going to finish right there.
He finished 12th last year, and he was 15th in practice. I think he's a GPP because he does have some room to make up, but he's had a bad season.
Yeah, I think his ceiling is 15th and his floor is 38th. So I just don't like taking 7K drivers like that. I like guys like Moffitt who can finish in the top 10. Clements who can finish in the top 10, or somebody in the back that can finish top 20 or top 15. I don't like to take, I struggle with guys that I'm relying on them to get 4 or 5 spots when I know they can finish behind where they start. It's too risky. Brandon Brown in the 02 tomorrow.
This is a really good card of the ARM Motorsports one, which I think Moffitt was in until he got booted out because he's in like SS Green Light. Brown has performed well here: 18th, 11th, 13th, and 14th. So he's got an average finish of 14th. That's not bad.
Mhm.
So I think you can get about 5 spots at 7,900. Like, I definitely would like Clements and Moffitt better, but it's not a bad play. I don't think. I think he definitely has some floor,
Yeah.
and he's got
Brandon
a lot
Brown
of
was
incentives.
stuffed in that shitty 78 vehicle last week. Now he gets a little bit better ride this next week. As we know, he's shelling out the 68 to a random driver every week, and he's trying to earn money for his team because it's really struggling right now. So that is why he's taking shots on other teams trying to get prize money with better vehicles. So that should tell you all you need to know about the 68 car right now. So we'll get to that when we get there. Brandon Brown racing for his life right now. So I like the incentive. Myatt Snyder, I don't play this guy.
What's that?
I don't play Myatt Snyder, and it works
No,
out.
I think he's just a GPP. Like, he was much. If I can't look at his data here because that was in a Childress car, so
Sure.
GPP.
Yep. Moving on. Anthony Alfredo.
Never again. Never again. How?
All right. Anthony
There.
Alfredo, if you don't know the story, was puking in his car during a caution and ran into the back of John Hunter Nemechek in the 26, leading to a last place finish at Chalk starting 36th. So shout out to Anthony Alfredo for one of the most weird moments in DFS racing history. Hopefully everything's okay, but obviously Mega's not recovered from that moment. I don't think I have either. So we'll just move on. Bailey Curry.
Didn't
I
he
like
race,
it.
He raced a truck race, didn't he?
Yeah, and he did well. So I'm not thinking prime, but cash for sure.
Yes.
Mason Massey, 91, 5,900. This is another car that does well. He's done well all year, staying up in the top 25. I think he's a play. I actually like for cash. I mean, that's GPP. That's fine. I get it. Starting too far forward, but at
He's
5,900,
only
I think,
raced once here and he finished dead last, but I think he was in a different car last year, and DGM's a little bit better. So
yeah.
yeah,
Finished 20th last week at Darlington. I think he's strong. Howie DeSavino, no.
No, okay.
Car's finishing last. Unless I missed something. I mean, Ryan Ellis has been doing okay in this 44, but Howie is not a good driver. Dylan Bassett, I can't believe this guy's still
It's
driving.
Junior. It's his. Wait, no, this is the father, right?
No, that's the young guy. Dylan is the young guy.
Ronnie Bassett. Yeah, he's actually been solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't race last week. No, 77 wasn't on the track. I don't know if this might be a start and park. I'm curious. I don't know. I'm weary about the 40 to 77. All right, 45. Raja Karuth, young gunner from the ARCA series. Alpha Prime is going to bring him a ride. Cash for me.
Yeah, like it.
I will say this, he's a wild card though. Careful. He might rack out, so just be careful. JJ Yaley, nah.
I think he's GPP. I mean, the price is a little high, but he's got experience here.
Too far forward. This car can always have troubles. Josh Williams, our boy, 6,600 in the 36.
I can't
Did
believe
well last week.
Can't believe
26.
he actually qualified. So
His ceiling is 26 though. So starting 29th, it's a fade for me.
yeah.
That's my opinion. I'd rather play Caruth in that price range.
Pool's got to be a fade.
Fade. Star fade.
Star's not bad.
I don't know.
17th, 23rd, 24th, 24th. Average of 24th. That's seven place differential points. I know the practice was off, but I think he's got to at least be a GPP. He can't be a fade.
Fair. All right, Ryan C. Gracing, CJ McLaughlin in the 38. I'll let you go. Any thoughts?
I like Sarah McLaughlin better, but
Kyle Sieg usually does really well in this vehicle.
Yeah, and he finished 24th in his only race here, so GPP.
No, this car's trash.
No.
Don't like the 78 either.
Okay.
Brandon Brown couldn't even race that thing inside the top 25. I'm not going to try it with Stephen Parsons. All right, Derek Griffith.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Sam Hunt car starting 35th.
I think it's the price tag, 7,400. I think that's what sells you, right?
Yeah.
Because we know the 26 is good, right?
Yeah.
26 car is good. Even after our buddy Anthony Alfredo ran up in the back of the 26 last week, John Hunter Nemechek rode it into the 9th place position. So this car's good. Joey Gase, 6K, no. Emerling Gase Motorsports. Chris Wright.
I think it's got to be. It's the Brandon. He's got experience. He is 21st. He's not a bad driver.
Careful. The 68 team doesn't have that many funds going on right now. That's why
he's paying, like Wright is paying to probably drive this car.
You think it's not Brandon Brown paying him to,
it's the other way around. They opened it up for other guys that wanted to come in and play.
All right. Ryan Vargas, 6.
I know we don't normally play him, but he can't go backwards. He's been 25th, 34th, and 22nd, average 27th. So that's almost 10 place differential points. You got to consider him in cash, I think.
Finished 27th last week. That is still enough points to get him over the top at 57. Okay. All right. You feel confident with this? I think we might tinker a little bit.
Yeah, we will probably. That's why, sign up for our Discord. You can see what the final result is, but at least this gives you a starting point.
Bingo. If you want to find that Discord channel, you can find it on our website, FSi DFS.com, or on our Twitter handle at FSi_DFS. You can follow me at TKNation47. That is at MegaRoller31. Hope you enjoyed the video. A little bit of research on the fly. Never did anyone no harm. Please like this video. Comment below with any questions you may have. Thank you for listening in and enjoy Kansas.